Just like that. Another week's gone by. How can it be that we're nearly in September? Hello, everybody. I'm Russ Kane. What's left of him? And excuse me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your lovely comments, asking after my health. What can I say? Getting there, bit by bit. Not 100%. Possibly never will be, but it's a vast improvement. I am so much happier and feel so much better. It's a miracle. Like I've been given another chance. It's kind of how it feels. I know, weird. I don't know where Phil is. Absolutely no idea. I hope I sent everybody the link. I think I did. Can't remember. I don't know. Something that has happened. I don't know if it happens to you. I've got absolute brain fog. And you could say, well, that's because you're an old fart. There is that. I grant you, there is that. But I have absolute blooming brain fog. And I keep, you know this thing when you wander into a room, you go, I came into the room. Why did why? I came in for something. And then you wander out again. And then you come back and you say, oh, yeah, I remember what it was. Chantal Rickards, hurrah! There she, marvelous. Yeah, I did send the link. Great. So Phil's just farting around. Or he's been fired. Or he's been hauled up with another disciplinary committee. When did you last see your father? Yeah, God damn. Thank God I don't work for anybody. That's great. Yeah, so I'm back. I'm busy. 3 funerals now over the next few days. Next 2 weeks, 3 funerals. And all range of people. It's amazing. But what is so, for me, thought-provoking is it doesn't matter. You're rich, you're famous, you're not famous, you're not rich, you're a lorry driver, you're a dustman, you're a fireman, you're a huge director of some enormous thing, you're a top physicist. All of these people have done. You all end up in the same place. It makes no difference. It makes no difference at all. You all end up in the same place. And it's not what you have, it's who you are. I always say that. It's not what you have, it's who you are. And did you lead a decent life? Were people improved by your presence? I don't know. Now, when Phil gets here, there's something I really want to discuss with him, but he may not get here. I don't know. Who knows? He might be feeding his cat. Could be. And it's this. Operation Raise the Flag. I'm sure you've all seen it. I know the MSM, mainstream media, is refusing to cover so much of the stuff, which is why I get my news from X on Twitter and everything. What do we got here? Fat Scotty. Afternoon, Squire. You're looking much better today. Oh, well, thank you very much. Yes, I tried to cheer myself up and haircut and everything like that. You know what I mean, Scotty? I hope you're feeling better too. It sounded like Ken Bruce for a second there. Though I could never be quite that talented. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Hello, Julie Voice, Foley of Houston, Texas, where she was, and now Guildford, Surrey. I want to ask you this. All right. First of all, I'm thrilled Lucy Connolly was released yesterday. Thrilled. I thought her imprisonment was a disgrace. I've said it from day one. I think feels the same. I don't know about Neil, because Neil doesn't follow the news. Neil doesn't follow the news. Jesus. Robert Van Buren, horologist to the stars. Hello, Russ. Hello, Robert Van Buren. What's this? Haircut. I thought you'd had your ears lowered. Scott Lyons, no wonder you're in such demand for the radio. No. So anyway, here's my thing. And I want to ask where you stand on this. This Operation Raise the Flag. I've been saying for years on this show and the previous incarnations of the show that nature abhors a vacuum. And this country is fed up to the back teeth the way we're being gaslit, the way we're being lied to, the way we're being treated, the way we're being taxed, everything. We're sick to death of it. Everybody is. Okay? Apart from the hard left. And they're raving mad, so Sodom. Right? Well, they're just nuts. All right. We're sick of it. We're sick of there's 35 genders. There's 2 genders. Boom, that's it. We're sick of blokes with moustaches wearing a hat saying that we're women. Sick of it. Right? Since when, in the history of this country, has it been an act of resistance to raise our nation's flags? Since when? It's incredible. And I kept thinking about this a lot. And I'm like, well, how can this be? How can this possibly be? This is our flag. Most people call it the Union Jack. As you know, it's actually called the Union flag. It's not the Union Jack, the Union flag, our national flag, and the flag of St. George. And if you're in Wales, you've got your own flag, and in Scotland, you've got the satire. I call it that, or satire. Yeah. So you got that. And suddenly, just by waving the flag, it's like you're a resistance fighter. You're a Jedi. This is bullshit. It's our flag. We should be entitled to have this flag wherever we want and whenever we want. And if you don't like it, if you don't like the flags, piss off. Simple. If you don't like the flags, go to somewhere where you do like their flag. You got the flag. That's it. If you go to America, I lived in America. I've been there, gazillion times on work and pleasure. And also, I lived there for a number of years. My daughter was born over there. So you go to America, flags are everywhere. The flags are everywhere. Doesn't make them Nazis, the most stupid, overworked word in the world at the moment, apart from the word celebrity, right? Anybody else rooting for the Sharks in that show? I just see the trailers. I go, I hope the Sharks just go into a feeding frenzy. That'd be fantastic. Right? In America, you have the flag, and it's okay to be patriotic. Doesn't make you xenophobic. Doesn't make you jingoistic. You can be patriotic. Why not? Because if you don't want to support the country where you're living, go to another country. Go to somewhere else that you think is a better country. I'm not saying the UK is a fabulous country. It does its best. We're a little tiny island stuck in the North Sea. That's what we really are. François Pascal. Arr. Good afternoon, young man. Young man, I'll take that, darling. I'll take that. Thank you, François. I am proud to be British. I'm proud to hail the flag anytime. And Robert Van Buren, I agree, Russ. You see, I don't get it. I don't get it. If you find the flag of this country so offensive, you're in the wrong country. It's really simple. If you have such a problem with the flags waving, go away, go somewhere else, be happy elsewhere. You got the rest of the world to choose from. Off you go. I've said this for a long time. A long time. This was my prediction. Not that I'm Nostradamus or Mystic Meg or particularly smart. It's just bloody obvious. And I'll backtrack a little bit here. Right? Growing up, we believed in the royal family because we thought they were marvelous. All right? We believed in our politicians. We thought they were great. They were in a league and they were incredibly smart and much smarter than we could ever be. And they had our best interests in heart. That's what we believed. Believed in the church, believed in the state. That's what we grew up believing. If you're my age, you believed in our MPs were great. You believed in the police. You believed all these things. Every single one of our beliefs has been trashed. And it happened. Sorry, I'm just keeping an eye on my dog who is just walking around in circles because she has doggy dementia. She's happy, but it's just upsets me. She's 16 and a half doing it. Right. What do we got here, Fat Scotty? Flags display patriotism and belonging like a uniform on a football shirt. Yeah, we fly flags of every nation in support. And I love our national flags, Union flag and St. George's Cross. Fly them high. Yes. How dare the councils start taking them down. Screw you. Screw you. You traitors. That's what they are. They're stinking traitors. It might offend somebody. Who? Just say it. Who is it going to offend seeing a flag? You're pathetic. You're pathetic. You shouldn't be running a council. And sort out the bins. In Birmingham, the independent country of Birmingham, it would appear, right? Oh, they're running around the council. Can't fix a pothole. Put a Union flag on it. They can fix that pothole in 5 minutes. It's amazing, isn't it? It's like magic. Can't collect the bins. Put a Union flag on it. Wow, bins are gone. It's tremendous. Amanda Del Nevo, how wonderful to have you along, my darling. I watched your videos. I send you all strength. Absolutely agree. What's his country? Oh, and that's why Roberto and I left. Love to you, and to everybody at the Rising Sun. I ran into one of your boys at a funeral. He was in the funeral before the one that I was officiating at. And I sent my love to you and Mr. Sandals. You know what I mean? Right. They were great landlord and landlady of a fabulous pub, the Rising Sun, as it happens, and they left the country. They got sick of it, and now the kids run it, and run it very well too. I'll say that. If you don't like the flag, there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with us. Why should we be curtailed? This is ridiculous. But my point is this, and this is what just winds me up: how it's now seen as an act of rebellion. An act of resistance. That's where we've got to in this country. Putting up the national flag is an act of resistance, an act of rebellion. What a load of bollocks. No, it isn't. Just had enough. Just had enough. It is the most enormous FU to Starmer and his stinking government. And it would be a huge FU to any government who didn't like it. Who didn't like it. They tried to scare the crap out of us by banging up Lucy Connolly. That's what they tried to do. What she wrote, was it clever? No. Of course it wasn't clever. Was it a smart thing to do? No. It was not a smart thing to do. It was a silly thing to do. I'll go a little bit further. It was a stupid thing to do. And she deleted the tweet, as you know, in 4 hours. Didn't leave it up. She didn't leave it up. Deleted it in 4 hours. And got banged up with a sentence that was ludicrous. Ludicrous. So you can be violent and get a smaller sentence. You can do all sorts of shenanigans, get a shorter sentence. You can do this. And we all know what he meant. We all know what he meant. And just walk out. And this country have just said, you know what? We've had enough. Now, unlike many countries in the world, the Brits are ludicrously patient. Polite, for the most part, apart from London, where everyone's bloody rude. And, well, no one speaks English, so they're bloody rude. And so there's no rioting on the streets. And the other thing about the flags, how dare you take down the Union flag or the flag of St. George and put up the Palestinian flag, which doesn't really exist. How disgusting. Or put up every other stupid flag, and in Birmingham, the Pakistani flag. This is ridiculous. It wouldn't matter. And I'm not just saying because it's the Pakistani flag. It could be the Italian flag. It doesn't matter. The German flag, you know, whatever. Doesn't matter. Why? Why is that permissible? How dare you? How dare you? The country's had enough. Scotty again, Scott Lyons is his real name, by the way, and he's an excellent broadcaster. An army veteran, was banned by Shropshire Council, well, sod them, from flying Union flag on his taxi. Common sense eventually prevailed after a public backlash. Imagine an army vet that loves his national flag. They have no respect. In America, when they say thank you for your service, and I do that if I see soldiers somewhere, I say thank you. Too blooming patient, says Lorraine Olson. She's absolutely right. We are too patient. They know their goose is cooked. They're done. They know that. They know their policies are garbage. None of them are working. The country's heading towards bankruptcy, as always with socialists. I can't even use the word socialist. I've got no problem with socialism. I have a problem with Marxism. Even the Russians thought Marxism was shit and got rid of it. Even the Russians. That's where it started. It's madness. This can't go on like this. I mean, it just can't go on like this. Now, we have, there was a petition, calling for a general election or something, on vote of no confidence. And everyone said, oh, sign the petition, sign the petition. I didn't bother to sign the petition because they don't give a shit. You could get, I think it got something like 700,000 signatures in 2-3 days. 700,000. Pretty good, right? They're not going to take any notice. They won't take a blind bit of notice. Makes absolutely no difference. So I didn't waste my time signing a petition. And I signed a lot of little things, especially on a local level. On a local level, if they're going to clear out a beautiful wooded area, even if it's not, I mean, where I live, right? A beautiful wooded area somewhere in a rural setting to build some piece of shit that nobody needs, right? I'll sign that petition and stop it. Of course I will. Now, Lorraine Olson says this, and we are dangerously close. We have no freedom of speech anymore. Why do you think they banged up Lucy Connolly and so hard on her? Why? Why do you think they fast-tracked everybody at the Southport riots and labelled them far-right thugs? They were not far-right thugs. They were mums, dads, grandmas and grandpas concerned. A disgusting display. Absolutely a disgusting display of what happened when Starmer and, was it Cooper? Where is she? Anybody heard from Yvette Cooper recently? Was she the famous invisible woman? And if you think I'm sitting here thinking, oh, the Tories did a great job, the Tories did a terrible job. They did a terrible job and they deserved to lose. They did. They were shocking. They were shocking. All right. So I'm not sitting here thinking, bring back the Tories. No. Who even is she? Says Lorraine. I mean, Yvette Cooper, is she like the worst? Can you remember a Home Secretary as useless? What does she do? Nothing. This country, the public-facing part of this country, is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment is what it is. On the world stage, it's an embarrassment. Did you see Starmer's speech? God almighty. It's like, there was a wonderful comment. It's like at a board meeting, you've got someone, you're going to let them have a go in front of the directors and everybody. And it was his chance to speak. And he just spoke drivel. Absolute. It's an embarrassment. We're going to put boots on the ground in Ukraine. No, we're not. Don't go and fight somebody else's war, matey. Don't go and secure somebody else's border. You haven't secured this border. You have to be clear. To be really clear, right? I was in hospital. You know that. I've been in and out of hospital. Blah, blah, blah. And everyone who looked after me was from somewhere else. And they were magnificent. They were fantastic. Every nationality that you could imagine. And they were, without exception, magnificent in both the hospitals where I ended up, and the ambulance crew, and the doctors and the nurses and the cleaners. Everybody was lovely because the frontline staff are lovely. They're amazing. They do a job we can't do. I couldn't do it. You couldn't. I mean, maybe you're an ex-nurse, ex-doctor, I don't know, or you still are a nurse, but I couldn't do it. What they do is sensationally good. They're angels. They were all so supportive and lovely and caring and kind at a time when I was in trouble. All right. They've all come from somebody else. I have zero problem. Of course I have no problem with that. Because let's be honest, the NHS couldn't function without people coming to this country. The difference is they've come here to work, and they have come here legally through legal channels. They haven't paid some piece of shit somewhere in Albania or whatever, $5 grand, $8 grand, and come across in a rubber boat with their hands out. That's totally different. That is not the same as being a migrant. It is not the same as immigrate. It's not the same thing. They've come to work. They've come to add to the society. And God bless them for doing that. God bless them for doing that. Why not? But they didn't come with their hands out. They didn't come ripping up their passports and all this crap. The job's easy. This is what I think is going to happen. This is what's going to happen. No. Let's just deal with a couple of the comments. I have no idea where Phil is. He's buggered off, frankly. Not with inflation rising to 38%. Jesus Christ, this government is a joke and embarrassment. Well, they're leading us on over the edge, like we're following like bloody lemmings here, not lemons. They're lemons. We're lemmings. It's about time. Oh, well, Lorraine, we've got to be careful. Got to be very careful with this kind of talk. Lorraine Olsen is saying it's about time somebody actually took them all on. Well, if you had a decent opposition, they would. Someone to actually take charge. Yes. A normal person. What qualifies as a normal person, Lorraine? Who's normal these days? Watching Parliament TV. Yes, like I said, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. They're booing and shouting at each other and shouting over each other. It's pathetic. A bunch of school children. And the big myth is that these are intelligent people. They're not. This is the thing. Do you think Angela Rayner is an intelligent person or a smart person or a clever person? No. These are not smart people. They're not clever people. In the past, you've had some very clever people. In Parliament, there are some very, very bright people. Just not the people leading us. They're not clever. You got a prime minister who spent the majority of his career as a human rights lawyer. In other words, defending what many would say would be the indefensible. They have a right. I get it. Of course. I get that. We adhere to the rule of law. But, when you've got someone who spent his whole career defending terrible people, you begin to see what shapes the whole policy. And then you think, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Is there a plan? Are they that stupid they don't know what they're doing? Or is there some brilliant plan they've got up their sleeves that we're not party? Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? Farage, whether you like Farage or you don't like Farage, whether you think he's a con man, you think he's a savior, I don't know. That's your opinion. It's your business. But he has said something which I thought was interesting. He said a lot of things that are interesting. He's a great communicator, whichever way you look at it. And he said this, they've said, where are you going to get your ministers from? Now, the traditional way of getting your ministers for transport and your home secretary and your this and your that and your environment and God almighty, Miliband. Christ almighty. If you saw him in the street, you'd go, well, I was caring the community for you. Just a swivel-eyed loon, isn't he? Spaffing money up the wall that we don't have. But Farage was said, well, you've got a tiny little party here, Where are you going to get the ministers from? And this is what he said, which I thought was smart. You may agree, you may disagree. In the past, the perceived wisdom was, well, we've got all these people have been voted in, so they're our MPs. So we'll make, you, Fred Smith, your Minister of Farming, and you, Joe Bloggs, and Maureen Jones, your Minister of, Transport, or whatever it is. People with no experience whatsoever. The experience is that they managed to get voted in. So they're made a minister with a lot of power. What Farage was saying is no. Why do we have to make the ministers Why don't we just get the experts in who know what the hell they're doing? So if you've got a transport situation, get somebody who understands logistics, who has a lifetime of experience with transportation. If you're getting Minister of Agriculture, I don't know what the phrase is, but people look after farms. Don't get someone who lives in bloody Islington, for Christ's sake, whose idea of a farm is a window box with daffodils in it. Don't do that. Get somebody with a background in agriculture and farming who understands the complexities of it. Jeremy Clarkson, whether you love him or loathe him, I think he's great. But whether you love him or loathe him, has done more with Clarkson's farm than the last 30 years of education coming out from the government about farming. Because you see just how complicated it is. It's really difficult stuff to do. You're not just planting something and just hoping for it. Right, here we go. Back to Lorraine Olsen. And by the way, I had no idea what I was going to talk about since I started on my own, for reasons that I tell you, someone with a cravat's going to get a kick up the backside. Some of the 3-year-old kids I've taught more common sense of what is happening in this world. Farage has some views I think are wrong, yeah. However, is the only one putting his neck out, of course. Well, you got Rupert Lowe and a couple of others. It's kind of it. And Ant Middleton. That's it. And then this week I didn't want this to be a political show, but it's what's bugging us. There is a national movement, a movement throughout the country saying we've had enough. It's like the Film Network. Do you remember the Film Network and the character Howard Beale? And he leans out the window and says, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. Which became a huge catchphrase from that film character. Who was it? Faye Dunaway. And, English actor, help me out. English actor who played Howard Beale. Brilliant actor. Can't remember his name. Gone out of my head. And he screams, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. And this country's reached that point. We're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore. Of course, that can be taken out of context. Oh, you're all mad. No. Now, I have the good fortune or the misfortune to live in London, right? Peter Finch. Thank you, Chantal. Of course it was Peter. I couldn't think of his name. I could see his face. I couldn't think of it. Peter Finch. Genius. Brilliant actor. Brilliant actor. Every bloody Saturday, we've got these hate marches. I'm not going to call them anything else. They're hate marches with their stinking flags and their drums and all the rest of the shit they come through. We've had it for 2 years. We're sick to the back teeth of it. Right? And they say you can't fly a Union flag or a St. George's flag. Stop that. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's unfair. And they know it. Now, I don't know if they think because we don't trust the police anymore, which is a shocking state of affairs, but anyone with one brain cell, you can see they've been politicized, which is awful. I loved the police growing up. I thought it was fantastic. Policemen, you trusted them. They were at the thin blue line, as they were called, between us and total chaos. Of course they were. And now, how do you bus in left-wing agitators? Who's paying for them? Who makes the signs? Where's the factory with all the signs and the shitty scarves and all that crap? Who's paying for all that stuff? And you cannot, what was it? The Germans would say, if you tell a lie long enough, the Germans during World War II and leading up to World War II, if you tell a lie long enough and you make the lie big enough, it becomes the truth. Right? I think it was Goebbels who kind of said that, keep saying the same lie, doubling down on the lie, making the lie enormous. It becomes accepted as the truth. It's never the truth. It's a lie. So calling mums and dads, grandmas and grandpas and children far-right thugs, you're dead. You're dead in the water. You got nowhere to go after that. Because people have said, really? Look at them. Don't listen to the BBC, which the sooner it's defunded and dismantled, it's rotten to the core. BBC should be dismantled, should stand on its own 2 feet. The fact that we have to pay for it and it treats us like scum, no, it should be dismantled. You have a choice. People say, oh, and then they always do the same argument, don't they? Do the same argument. They go, oh, but you pay for Sky, you pay for Netflix, you pay for Amazon. Yeah, the difference is they don't come around, knock on your door and try and put you in prison. You just phone them up and say, I don't want to be part of Netflix, thank you very much. And they go, oh, sorry to see you go. Can we offer you a better deal? You go, no, really, I don't want to be part of it. And they go, okay, thank you. End of. They don't have detector vans. They don't have people knocking on your front door trying to bang you up, put you through in the court and lock you up. It's rubbish. It's a completely fallacious argument. So we've got to endure somehow 4 more years of this. And I tell you what I think is going to happen. There's a poem I had to learn as a kid. And he goes like this: John Gilpin was a citizen of credit and renown. A train band captain eke was he of famous London town. Train bands were groups of people who would protect the area. A train band captain eke was he of famous London town. I totally believe that ordinary citizens, and I'm not talking vigilantes, be very clear. I am not talking vigilantes. I'm not talking people taking the law into their own hands. I'm talking about people going and patrolling the streets, because if the police won't do it, nature abhors a vacuum, someone's got to do it. And keep the parks safe and keep the children's playgrounds safe and all of that. I think that's going to happen, and I think that's going to spread. Whether it's right, whether it's wrong, I don't know. I'm not advocating it, but I think that's what's going to happen. And I think you'll see a surge of patriotism. And patriotism is not a dirty word. Yeah, but Lorraine, here's the thing. Everyone's going, oh, Starmer's going to go, Starmer's going to resign. We hate Starmer. Yeah, who's going to replace him? What, Angela bloody Rayner? Angela Rayner, who left school, I don't even think she had a O level in woodwork. I mean, God damn. She's going to replace? The left will eat itself. What do I suggest? I tell you what I suggest. No, so I got the wrong one. Sorry. All right. No, I mean, you don't want Rayner. She's not clever. She's not smart. She's not capable. She can't string a sentence together. I know people have met her. I'll leave it at that. Right. What do I suggest? I suggest the following. Patri is not a crevice. You idiot. You know what I think, Scotty? The other word that always gets me, moist. Moist. I love the word moist. Cracks me up. Right. Talking of cracking me up. Right. That's me. That's my rant. I didn't even know what I was going to start saying. And that's been a 33-minute monologue, which came out of nowhere. Just wanted to get it off my chest. Someone we don't want to get off our chest. That was a really bad segue, but I couldn't think of anything else because I'm a bit tired. Ladies and gentlemen, you know her. You love her. Everything she recommends is great. And I get besieged with messages. What did she say? I have to write it bloody down, otherwise I get told off. She has an OBE. Order of... It doesn't matter. I couldn't think of the word either. You know her. We all love her. Chantal Rickards OBE.
Hello. I want to go back to moist.
Moist. Well, don't we all love? Don't we?
If only because when I came out of the sitting room at 8 o'clock this morning, I thought, why is there water dripping through my house? And in the shower, I've got a very fancy electric shower.
Have you now?
Yes, pump in the attic, which for some unknown reason, when I may discuss with you, decided to spray water from the top of my house to the front door.
Oh, no.
Literally all the way down.
All down the carpets and everything and the walls. Oh, crap.
So,
Chantas, I'm so sorry.
Everything is a bit moist.
Oh, God. What are you going to do?
I've got a feeling, I haven't quite told them this, but I've got a feeling it might have something to do with my guests who are staying, who are Koreans, because as you know, one of my rooms is Airbnb'd.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, indeed. And the girls had brought, this is a very strange thing, they had brought their own shower head. Okay, which
I'm
they
sorry,
had.
What? What?
They've
come from Korea and they bought their own shower head.
They did.
What the bloody hell's the matter with these people? What's the matter with them? Mad.
I have no idea.
Fools.
But I think they had attached their shower head, which is not nearly as good as my shower head.
Of course not.
Very fancy.
Right.
And specifically for a very super high speed, all singing, all dancing system.
Right.
And I think that when they turned the shower on, the water couldn't get through their shower head.
And it backed up and it's gone all through your house.
And it's blown a gasket.
Tell me something. So these Korean, the dogs in the area, suddenly the whole population of the dogs has just dropped. But these Koreans, are you going to be able to, that's been a stereotypical comment there. Have they gone now? They gone back to Korea?
No, they only arrived last night. So they're here for 3 days.
Well, tell them to change the bloody shower head for a start.
Yeah,
Christ.
I've taken away the hose. Honestly, the things that have happened to me
This
since
is awful.
It's very funny.
The thing about Airbnb, it always sounds great and it ends up, man, they can do such damage because people are not great and they don't care.
But who would you think travels halfway around the world
with their own shower head?
It's got something funny on it because obviously the water goes through something.
Is it a picture of Kim Jong-un?
No, it's long and cylindrical and it looks like bath crystals or bath powders or something. So that when I think that when the water finally comes out of the other end, that it's got something gorgeous in it or smelly. Or I've no idea, but I've never seen anything.
Is it Drano? Jay's Drano. Harpic. It's Harpic. That's what it is. It's obvious.
I know.
Obvious what it is. Just a load of Harpic they've shoved in.
So it's
bleach.
Chaos at
home.
home.
God. Now, have you met up? You're a fab woman to take it to chin, Chantal. I would have blown a glass. You do not want to piss off Francois Pascal. Woo. And from the French, exactly. We go to the Australian. Oops, I'm glad I vacated the premises. In fact, Scotty says this. We take our own shower head on a holiday. It has filtration beads in the hide, so it's clear. You
really? No.
I bet he's being serious.
Oh, well, he might be right. I've never seen anything like it.
No, I've never seen anything like Scott Lyons. Blimey. Tell me about it, boy.
Oh, dear.
We take our own shower head on holiday. It has filtration beads in the head, so it's cleaner water. How dirty is the water? Where do you go? Algeria? I mean, where the hell do you go? Syria High Street? And I think our your own shower head.
Yeah, I think our water's probably a lot cleaner than the water in Seoul, but who knows? I haven't got a clue.
Well, I gotta say, South Korea is meant to be fantastic. My son went there. He had some mates there, so he took himself off. And he just, glad I've amused you. Or is it just wet? You're just drying your face.
It's just coming down at me.
Is there seriously? Because you have very, very good. Very good. Soul destroyed. Well done, Philip. Well done. That's good. So, is there a lot of damage to Casa Rickards?
Well, everything's very wet at the moment, but we'll be back in action and dried out hopefully by Tuesday.
How? What do you plan to dry everything? It's the walls and the carpet and all that.
I'll just have to throw all the doors and windows open over the weekend, but it's going to smell of damp carpet, and that's
God, it's like when you get.
We don't like damp carpet.
I don't like it. Excuse me a minute. I don't know where my dog's gone. Chat amongst yourself. My fear is that she gets trapped. She falls over and then she just lies there, which is not great. Michelle Vaughan, not in Sydney at the moment, but over in the UK. Glad you got to the bottom of the problem.
Yes, we got there. But
have you hooked up yet, you two?
Yeah, no, Michelle has been to stay. So she's now been evicted from her bathroom because she's staying in one of the other rooms. So I've had to evict her from her bathroom, and it's all. Listen, my domestic life is terribly stupid. So
is it? It always seems fantastic.
Much more.
It always seems absolutely. Scott Lyons is on a roll here. He says, "Really, thanks to the middle of Little. That's where the shower head is. I love the middle of Little.
I love the
no worse than Al Qaeda water getting the wife all moist." And then he says, "What's he got? The last one, the Korean what?" Stop it. That's not funny. That was very bad. It was very bad taste. Very bad taste. Fortunately, very few Korean War veterans watched the show, to the best of my knowledge.
You never know. We might have a very big post bag by next month.
Oh, God. Keynsham, that's Keynsham. With me, Horace Batchelor and the infradraw method. You're too young. We were obsessed with that.
No, you've lost me.
Oh, on Radio Luxembourg when I was a kid, and all you heard was when you tried to keep it on the station. There's this guy called Horace Batchelor, and people of my age will go, "Oh my God!" And Horace Batchelor had a way that the conceit was you would do very well on the football pools, which everybody did. We didn't have the lottery or anything. We did the football pools. If you used his famous infra-draw method. What it was, no idea. I was a kid. And you had to write to Horace Batchelor, infra-draw at Keynsham. And then the advert was on all the time. And you go, that's Keynsham. 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 Keyn. And you thought, where the hell's Keynsham, for Christ's sake?
Bristol.
Anyway,
It's near Bristol.
I don't know where it is, but it's Horace Batchelor, the infradraw method. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. You know?
I used to have Radio Luxembourg on my radio under my pillow at school.
Yes. Oh God, yes. It was great with a little earpiece. Did you have a little earpiece?
No. We didn't have earpieces at school. I just had this great big brick radio and had a very crooked neck for the 7 years I was at boarding school. Crazy.
It was like that. Yeah, I was there for 9 years. Crooked everything, I think, at the end of that. Anywho, what have I seen that's any good? Oh, yes. I don't know. I told you that. What have I seen anything new? Oh, yes. I started to watch a thing on called The Peacemaker with John Cena. I'm a big John Cena fan. Yeah. Former WWE wrestler. I think he still does a bit of spot of that. But he's really got his acting. He's got his acting chops together, and he's got his comic timing. So although he's like really hench, he kind of always taking the piss out of it, and all the other characters and the writing, he's all hench. And his deadpan humor is very good. Anyway, this is The Peacemaker. It's a TV show. It's a spin-off from Suicide Squad and The Suicide Squad. And The Peacemaker's written and directed by James Gunn, famous for doing the last Superman movie, which had kind of mixed reviews, but James Gunn's a big deal. And that was it. Oh, look, Fat Scotty. Sorry, got to go back to this. Horace Batchelor was an accomplished watercolor painter. I don't even know what he looks like. Keynsham's answer to Bob Ross. Bob Ross.
Really?
I never knew that.
Oh,
I never knew that. Anyway, if you like sort of action and lots of fight scenes and very bad language and funny humor,
yeah,
really deadpan.
I think I did watch it months ago, but it's good fun. It absolutely does, it does what it says on the tip.
Absolutely,
you just know exactly what you're going to get.
Totally.
By the time you get to the end of the opening titles, perfect.
Totally. So, and we discussed Karen Pirie. Did we discuss Karen Pirie? I binge watched that.
We mentioned Karen Pirie, I think.
Yeah, I got to the end of series 1. There's 3 parts there. Each one is 1.5 hours. I have to say. If you were producing, you'd say, cut it down to an hour. Because I realized my mind was wandering.
Right.
Kind of wandering. But the performances are all terrific. Absolutely terrific.
Yeah.
Kimmy Lashmar, The Peacemaker is on. Oh, God. Christ. I don't know. Something on Now. I don't know the channel. I'm really sorry. I can't remember the name of the channel. You'll find it on Now, NOW, which you have to pay for or download or something. I don't know. There we are. The Peacemaker. Okay.
Well, I'm going to give you something only because we've been talking quite a lot about medicine and all things medical in the last few weeks, and something that I was really looking forward to see, and it didn't disappoint, although the book is better. And it's a documentary on BBC Two. It's only 1 hour, and it might be too much for you to take at the moment, but as you're flying the banner for the NHS, I think that you should watch something called Confessions of a Brain Surgeon. No.
It's making me twitchy.
Okay. It doesn't really go into what he did as a surgeon. So there are no scenes of surgery. There's none of that stuff.
Oh, thank God.
And for me, I didn't get that sort of satisfaction of getting the medical information and the science, which I completely love. This is actually telling you about the career of this fantastic guy. He's now 74. He has cancer.
Young. That's young.
74.
Young.
Yeah, no. And
Young guy.
Henry Marsh was a pioneering brain surgeon in Great Britain. He brought out a book that came out about 5 years ago, exactly the same time as, what was that book called that they turned into a BBC series about a guy who went to Dulwich College who became...
I know who you mean, and I can't think of the damn thing. Very good.
Want to say something like This Is Us or The Way It Is, or anyway, it'll come to me.
Yeah.
But it came out at exactly the same time, and both these books were on the shelf competing against each other, and they both got different awards for the truth behind them, in a way. And this is a very introspective documentary of this man looking back over his career and confronting what he calls his cemetery, because in his head, he sees really only the people who he couldn't save, not the people that he did save. It's absolutely fascinating. He carries these ghosts around with him all the time. He talks about having been a megalomaniac surgeon when he was working up until 10 years ago, and clearly was at the height of the profession, put his work before his family. And now this is very much a reflective piece of him looking back on his career. And actually, you don't often see the human side of the doctors, because when you see all these docs on telly, no pun intended, all these documentaries on telly, it always focuses on the patient, and quite rightly so, because that's where the human story is. But actually, the story of these people whose lives as surgeons, particularly, where you are very much in the sort of front line of the sort of the fear bit of medicine, because, you know, one slip of the knife and it all goes horribly wrong.
Tell me about it.
People, they do take it home with them. They live on the edge all the time, and that impacts everybody around them. So in terms of getting to understand medicine better and the science better, but also the people who put themselves in that place where they are absolutely being tested to their limit every single day.
But you can't go wrong, can you? You can't say, I'll sort it out tomorrow. Yeah. Let's leave it for tonight.
Yeah.
No.
And there's a very interesting sequence where he meets up with a woman who for 30 years has hated him and held a complete grudge towards him because of something that had happened 30 years earlier. I won't give it away. It's a beautiful part of the story. But he also talks to his old nurses and his old anaesthetist, and talks to his first wife about why their marriage broke down because he put his job first. It's really interesting. It's only 1 hour, but I just it's a
and
very
what's it called?
Story.
What's
it's called
again?
Confessions of a Brain Surgeon
With Robin Asquith.
Not with Robin Asquith.
I'm just checking. Just checking.
Not with Robin Asquith, but BBC Two, and definitely worth watching, especially if you read the book about Henry Marsh.
Can you imagine? Oh, look at this! Look at this, Julie. I didn't know. Having worked with a surgeon for over 20 years, I found it fascinating. But somebody very close to me has worked to the surgeon who looked after me for 22 years. So yeah, I bet it's fascinating.
Amazing.
How can you? That responsibility. It's in a league that it's very hard to comprehend, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. I mean, my brother was a cardiologist, and we know that he looked after somebody pretty well known who used to live in the middle of London, and probably one of the most famous people in the world. But we'll move on from that. You and I know who.
Phil Dave.
No, he wasn't. Not quite.
Did the place have a flag on the top?
It might have done.
It might well have done, yes.
Anyway, he did pioneering stuff, but he wasn't a scalpel man. He pioneered, he was more in medical intervention in terms of stents and by doing, a balloon angioplasty. That he pioneered angioplasty as stents.
I've had stents.
Yeah.
They did.
Well,
They worked
Stents
a
are
treat.
great.
They worked a treat. I have to
Yeah.
tell you that stents.
Well, he put the
Stents
first
really
one
worked.
in this country.
Wow.
But anyway, it is really interesting, and I can see, because having been surrounded by medics all my life, that what they do takes a toll on them. It absolutely
It must
does.
do. It absolutely. It's why the police. I used to have friends who were in the police. I haven't seen them in 20, 21 years, but I used to have friends there, and they have the darkest sense of humor, and you couldn't believe what they had to deal with. They were dealing with road traffic accidents. I'm not going into any details because even for me and this show, it's too appalling. And I had to leave the room once. I thought I was going to be physically sick, and that doesn't often happen to me. And it's straight out of a Stephen King book. So you understand why they build up this huge protective barrier of dark humor so they can deal with this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you and I don't know about you. I don't want to speak on your behalf, but I'd take one look and faint. That would be it. I'd be done. I couldn't deal with that. You couldn't deal with it. I don't know anyone who could.
No, I went to my first postmortem when I was 11. And I went to my second postmortem when I was 14. A bit weird. On I think what might have been take your daughter to work.
Take your kid to school to work day.
Mum saying, Dad, on Saturday.
Are we going to the cinema? Are we going to the zoo? No, we're going to a postmortem. Oh, thanks.
I loved it. I loved it.
What? You
Seriously, I was completely fascinated by the whole thing. Anyway,
wow.
And look where I ended up talking about television.
Did it not? I'm absolutely fascinated.
No, it was Dad's job. It was just like, oh God, Dad wants me to go and to work with him today. Well, okay, fine.
Okay, I'll have a little look.
This
is quite a good gag. Rumour has it Phil Dave went to buy some sewing thread for Mrs. Dave, Linda, but ended up in the pub all day instead. Gone, but not for cotton. That's very good. That's very good gag.
Very good.
That's a lovely gag, Scott. Thank you. I like that a lot. So when you went to you're a little kid, you're a little girl, you go along to the postmortem. It didn't freak you out?
No.
Wow.
I don't know. It just sort of.
Wow.
I don't know. Not really. I mean, it was fascinating. It was more fascinating than anything else. It was like a proper human biology lesson.
Well, I remember at school I had to do O-level biology. God, I was rubbish at it. And one day we had double biology, and I think on Wednesday afternoon or something. I walked in, and there was half a rats on every lab desk. Oh, Jesus. I wanted to run out. I wanted to run out the room. I've never forgotten. Even thinking about it now, I can feel revolting.
No, I couldn't get the fast enough.
God damn.
Anyway, there we are.
It's interesting. Did you see it as a person? Did you see it as a sort of, and it's not a metaphysical question.
No.
Because I guess you must be fascinated by the science and I'm going to call it the mechanics of the body, so to speak. I can get that. But
no, because I didn't know the story. There wasn't a human element to it. That sounds weird.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all.
I didn't know any of the backstory, and nor would he have done, actually. I mean, it wasn't his job. He wasn't a forensic pathologist, but it wasn't his job. No, well, if it had been a murder or something, he probably would have known the backstory, etc., etc. But
I've joined a post-mortem society. Next week is open mic night. Oh, my God. Philip, that is really good. That is two banging gags there. That is two absolute banging gags there.
Hey ho, do you want to hear about something else to watch?
Of course I do. I'm just fascinated as little Chantal going into a post-mortem. God damn. All right. Okay.
I don't think it would be allowed now. Anyway. So right, I'm going to tell you about something on Prime. Are you still signed up to
Amazon Prime? Yeah, every now and then there's a halfway decent movie.
Okay. This is a 6-parter called Butterfly. It's a sort of spy thriller series meets Long Lost Family, which sounds a bit random.
Okay.
Indeed, it is a bit random.
With Davina McCall as a spy. No, I'm mixing up the genres.
No, very nice Korean American American Korean actor who I like a lot, and you'll recognize his face instantly, is the dad, and he bizarrely is alive, which is not what his daughter thought. So without giving the entire thing away, he is confronted by the daughter that he has not seen for 9 years, and she thought that he had died in an accident. He was ex-CIA. He had started a counterintelligence business, and then something happens and he dies. But bizarrely, she ends up, as a woman in her 20s, going to join this counterintelligence agency, and the two of them meet again. And the story unravels from there. But it's a good yarn. I actually enjoyed it. The action sequences are amazing. It's had an enormous amount of money spent on it. Very, very good action sequences. And if you like, car chases, a bit like you were saying about The Peacemaker, if you like car chases and, lots of crash, bang, wallop, it's fabulous for crash, bang, wallop.
I do. I'm a crash, bang, wallop man.
Yeah. There's a deep family, emotional story running through.
And it's American or Korean?
No, it's an American production, but I think it's probably a co-pro, to be honest. Yeah. It's come out of America. It's very glossy. And it comes from, you can tell me what this means. It started life as a graphic novel.
Graphic novel, yeah. Like Sin City or Sin City or 300 or Spawn or any of those things. Yeah.
It's a graphic novel. Is it a comic? What is a graphic novel?
If you went to an aficionado and said, "Oh, it's a comic. I'd be visiting you in hospital."
Yes.
Bringing grapes and flowers. We can't do that anymore. A graphic novel, if you think of a comic and you think of the old ways of, well, you start off with the Beano Dandy, Topper, Beezer, right? And then you move on to the Marvel comics, obviously, and the DC comics, so DC being Superman, Marvel being everything else, Iron Man, etc., right? Those are comics in comic form. A graphic novel really is, it has the intensity, the subtlety, the grown up, it's very mature, there's no holds barred, but instead of words, it's in graphic form. So the artwork is brilliant, and they're huge. Graphic novels. If you go into Forgotten Planet bookstore and you look at the graphic novels, and they have given birth to so many different things. Like you remember the movie 300 with Gerard?
I do remember 300.
Oh, that was a graphic novel to start with.
So do they tell us a sort of long form idea? Are they lots and lots of pages?
Yeah, they're long form, but they're very grown up. They're very grown up. So imagine a really excellently written book.
Yeah.
But it's illustrated, so every frame is telling you the story with the dialogue, etc. They're not, they're not for kids.
Okay. All right.
And the twins loved graphic novels. They got some, and something like Spawn, which did a lot of movies, and also Sin City.
Yeah.
So the graphic novel, somebody like Frank Muller, if I pronounced it right, Frank Muller, who did Sin City, etc. There was Sin City 1 and Sin City 2.
Yeah.
With Eva Green was in Sin City 2. You still might be thinking hot. And that's why they have that format. So if you watch those movies, they're movie versions of a graphic novel. That's why they have that very stylized way of doing things. Yeah. Anyway, there we are.
Well, anyway, this is a series. It's on Amazon Prime, Prime Video, as they insist on calling it. Nobody else does. We all still say Amazon. And it's called Butterfly, and it's very well produced. And the story is good enough to take you through all 6 episodes. It's a quick 6 episodes. Okay. You can certainly do it over a bank holiday weekend. But it certainly held me all the way to the end, and not much keeps me all the way through 6 episodes. All the way to the very end.
Because they get a bit soggy. If it's not tightly written and tautly directed, they get a bit soggy. You think, oh, you could have done this in 4 episodes, matey. Yeah. You could have trimmed.
Implausible. So you just, but then it's all implausible stuff.
Of
really.
Course it is.
I think spies are probably very boring people at the end of the day. But who knows?
Who spies? I don't think they're very glamorous. I think they have probably a terrible life. But there we are. We have a fascination, do we not, with and especially that now they've made them women, of assassins. The whole notion
Yeah.
you get a phone call from somebody anonymous and you got to bump off somebody. You know, there's a whole load of movies like that,
Yeah.
aren't there? There's one
There
called
are.
The Killer, which was okay, wasn't great. I like the actor a lot, but it wasn't brilliant. And Assassin, which was great fun. I mean, absolute nonsense, complete tosh, but wonderful to look at. It was terrific. Terrific. Yeah, there we are. Well, thank you for that. So we've got to remind ourselves is Confessions of a Brain Surgeon,
Yeah,
BBC Two, and then we've got Butterflies with Wendy Craig and a very young Nicholas Lyndhurst, who's about 8, in Butterflies. Love
Indeed.
is like
As
a
the assassin.
butterfly.
Yeah.
You shoot your head off and you die. That's how it goes. All right. Wendy Craig, we loved Wendy Craig. Wasn't she great? Chantal, thank you so much for joining
great
us.
pleasure. Great. Have a happy bank holiday weekend.
I forgot it was forgot it was a bank holiday completely because, to be honest, every day's the same. Every day's the bloody same. It's pathetic. You have a lovely, and I do hope your house dries out.
Thank you.
But I won't be coming over until it is because the smell of damp, I don't need it. I'll be honest, I don't need it. Bye. Thank you so much. And that, gang, is it for another week. Will we be back on Monday? I don't know. I'll speak to Neil. See, because it's Bank Holiday Monday. We may not. I'll see if Neil's available. He's probably got plans. You know him. He loves barbecues. He loves parties. That's Neil. All right. Have a wonderful bank holiday. Is it the last one of the year? It must be the last one of the year. I don't know what we're celebrating. Have a good time. Stay free. Stay focused. Stay happy. Be well. Enjoy. And remember, no hurty words. Know what I mean?